Recently, I built my first custom gaming PC and thought I'd make a video about it for anyone that might be looking to build themselves a PC or just want to see what I built. I'll show every part that was used and run some benchmarks on some popular shooters. So first, let's look at the parts. Okay, so now for all the parts, I thought I'd record all the pictures of the boxes and whatnot, just so it's easier to see what they'd look like if you're going to purchase them. So first and foremost, we've got the GPU, NVIDIA's 3070, quite a beast. It's MSI, or the model's by MSI. It's Ventus 2X, 2 fans, pretty nice. I just wanted to go with the 2 fans because it's cheaper, and honestly, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Next up, we've got the RAM, just Viper Gaming. I honestly haven't really heard of them until I just saw their RAM, and I was like, all right, looks good. And sure is. 2 16 gig sticks, DDR4, 3600 megahertz. Yeah, very much so worth it. I think it's about $100. Next up, we've got the power supply, which is a thermal take, 750 watts, gold rated, and it just gets the job done nicely, so definitely worth it. And then another one of the most important parts is the CPU. Ryzen 5000 series, I think 5600X, I think is it. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But yeah, also very good and really good value too. Some people think it might be a little slow, but I think it's good enough. So yeah. Next up, we've got the motherboard. Now, I actually had to buy a replacement or a different motherboard because I originally got an MSI, I think is the Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, and very, very crappy motherboard. The Wi-Fi didn't even work, so I went with the Asus Tough Gaming X570 Plus Wi-Fi. So this one works so much nicer, it looks better, and definitely worth it. And then for the final part, which I actually have up and running, because everything's up and running, but I can really only show you physically, which is the case. This is a Cooler Master D500 or something like that. I don't know. I'll correct myself. And yeah, it looks really cool. Try to get a side angle. I kind of have it set up here, so yeah, very nice looking case. Definitely recommend. So yeah, that's all the parts now for the benchmark test. Okay, so the first game I'm going to be looking at is Splitgate, and it is handling it pretty well, with the cap being 360 because that is as high as you can go on Splitgate. But it's pretty much staying there, maybe dropping like 3-4 frames every once in a while, but not too much of an issue. As you can see, the CPU and GPU are only being used in between like 50 and 60%, so not even near their maximum capability. The temperatures are running pretty nicely, definitely a good range, and yeah, so if you want to play Splitgate with this GPU CPU combo, it'll definitely work on max settings. Okay, next up is Apex Legends, one of the more heavy games to run, and as you can see, the FPS on this is still pretty good, up to like 190, and this is all on max settings, I believe. So that is pretty good considering I'm also recording as I play all these games on the same computer. But the CPU and GPU definitely a bit on the higher end of usage, up around 80%. Temperature is a little bit higher than in Splitgate, but still very, very okay. And yeah, 200 frames around there. That's gonna be more than enough on a 144 hertz or 165 hertz. If you have 240 hertz, you might want to upgrade this GPU a little bit, maybe to 3070, but definitely good enough for me. So that's Apex Legends. Okay, and to finish it off, I'm going to be taking a look at Fortnite, and I'm going to be running this on all low settings except for view distance set to far. That's kind of the default for most competitive Fortnite players. But right now I'm in Tilted Towers, so a lot of people there, a lot to load, and it's jumping around a little bit. I do believe that's maybe because of recording. The CPU, I think, is utilized a lot in this game, so it's jumping around a bit. But if you're recording, I'm sure it'd be a bit more, or if you weren't recording, I'm sure it'd be a bit more stable. And it's just, you know, it works. Like, that's enough. 200 frames around there. For my 140 hertz monitor, like I said, that's more than enough. If you're on 240 hertz, it should be fine if you weren't recording. I'd say if you were recording, though, what you could do is maybe think about upgrading your CPU, having maybe like an Intel i5 12600 or 12600 or whatever it is. But yeah, still a very solid amount. As you can see now, jumping up to like 250 for a second there. So yeah, it'll definitely work. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear them. And if you did find this helpful or enjoyed it, a like would be very appreciated. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.